Today, I was watching a panel and it just sparked my mind. I was like, wow, let me talk about this. So many things we can go into, but I'm just gonna start off by your environment. As we know when we study biology, that your cells can't vibrate higher than your environment, and your cells look up to you and your thoughts for guidance. So basically, you want to be in tune with your cells. It's just like if you tell yourselves you're not gonna, like for me, example was I was telling myself I'm gonna stop smoking. It's bad for you. I'm not gonna do it. But I continuously did it. It was confusing my cells and confusing my body. Our mind and body needs to be in harmony with each other. Okay? So on the panel, you know, there's this experiment that happened. Look, science is the study of nature. It's the study of how we live in tune as human beings on this planet. And there was a scientific study or experiment that happened within mice that there was a mouse that they every time it went towards a piece of a certain type of food, it was shocked. Every time it went there, it just kept getting shocked every time. So the mouse developed a thought saying, "Well, I'm not gonna go towards that motherfucking food no more. That shit is dangerous. It's off limits." As the mouse reproduced and had babies, the babies instinctively did not go towards that type of food ever. And it's the same thing that happened with dogs. If you have a dog in a certain cage and you keep like, oh, every time it gets out, you're starting to hit it or do something to hurt it physically, it's going to develop a thought in its mind to say, you know what, I'll just stay in this fucking cage. Eventually, you could take the dog off the leash, and the dog won't do nothing because it's being programmed by its environment. So I did a download on this, and I'm gonna upload it to my Instagram. But I wanted to go deeper into it, so that's why I just came on here because certain thoughts may come up in my head while I'm explaining it. But it's conducive to looking at your how we reproduce and how our environment is consistently programming us. So oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. The Willie Lynch letter. It does have certain things that will be able to show you. They already studied this. The people that control and conquer this and that govern us study a lot. Study us. Anybody that has, and remember, America's a business, so a person, a boss, is always going to study how it can be able to control and conquer and stay a boss. It's going to study its employees. It's going to know who works for it and going to figure out how can I control this situation. So and this is why we say go back to nature, go back to your natural environment so you can program yourself to what you know that is best for yourselves. Okay? But living in this environment, we are consistently being distracted and programmed by our surroundings, by the things that we are in constant communication with through our senses. So I just want to say that because, look, there's a hermetic principle that is masculine and feminine, meaning that we need a positive, negative, and those are the things that those are the things that help that makes us live. Like everything we see has a masculine and a feminine, or a positive and a negative, in order to become activated. Basically, it's just like the battery. You need both sides in order for it to be able to run. We are electrical beings. So, what is this? Ask for support. Anyways, it's basically like this. When you everything that we see is energy. It is a manifestation. If it's peace, Anthony, if it's in the physical, it's a manifestation of some sort of energy. All right. The physical is a manifestation of the metaphysical. So when we look at the human being, our bodies is a manifestation of our thoughts. The man and the woman is a manifestation of the masculine and the feminine. That's not to say that a man don't have masculine and feminine energy. We all have masculine and feminine energies. Okay, positive and negative. We all have that within us. It's to say the anatomy and the structure and the purpose of a man comes from the masculine, and the purpose of and the anatomy of a woman comes from the feminine. Okay, we have both in us, but the physical came from the metaphysical. Okay, so when we look at how we are reproduced, and the man puts his DNA, which is thoughts, into a woman, and the egg therefore begins to activate from that and start to grow into a physical manifestation of that. And this is what I want to say. This is so crazy because when we look at the mouse being shocked, the environment starts to genetically modify our genes. And this is why I say be careful who you reproduce with. As a man, you can reproduce with all these different women, and that's okay to spread your seed. But you have to understand that the woman that you're reproducing with is going to then genetically modify that seed that you're planting into them. That's why the woman should be on the same mental and structured type of way of living as the man, so that you can make sure that you are influencing that seed with the best environment. So the man puts his DNA into the woman. The woman's egg starts to activate and starts to manifest into the physical. And with that, our womb is the environment for this egg. So the first environment, what is this? The first environment that we have as human beings comes from our mother's womb. That is our first environment. So this is why it's important. Be careful what you eat. Be careful what your mother's environment. What is she seeing? What is she doing? What is she in consistent communication with? This is starting to genetically modify or activate certain genes within that egg or that seed. This is the first environment that we have. We come out and it's another environment. It's like it's kind of like a death or a transformation of energy. We transform from this environment to this environment. All right? So we have to be careful who we are reproducing, not only as women but as men too, because when we look at the science behind it. So this stuff was really, oh, hold on. This stuff was very very like important for us to realize, because we can look at ourselves right now as beings and say, look, like the environment that we in, we need to make sure make sure it's the best environment. Yes, that's the beginning, because think of it, if your mother, while you was in her womb developing, was in the best environment and reproduced with the best man, then she would be then giving you the best. So we have to understand our thoughts come from the masculine. Like if you look at an atom, which we are all made up of, the proton is a manifestation of the masculine. All right, there's a negative and positive in these. The proton is a manifestation of the masculine. It's the thought, and the electron is a manifestation of the feminine, and it is the expression of that thought. So as women, we express the thoughts of a man. We express those thoughts, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I am grateful. I'm grateful. Let's say only 81. Okay. Save Goddess was good. I'm grateful. So I wanted to say that because this is something that is very important for us to understand. We need to understand science. We have to study science. Science is a study of nature, and nature is what sustains us. So the more we're disconnected from that environment, the more we are being genetically modified. So GMO is not just the food that we consume, but it's also what we are in consistent communication with. I'm grateful, John Deep. Oh, I'm grateful, say Goddess. You're beautiful. I remember. I remember. Yeah, you're beautiful. And I love your energy. So basically, we have to study science. This is very important. And it looks like I'm lagging, but I am recording this. So I'm gonna put it on YouTube if somebody else wants to hear it again. But it's just something that sparked my mind. So I was like, let me get on here and talk about it because this is something important. Lou, I see you. Hold on. So I'm not gonna be on here too long because I'm still trying to upload stuff to my YouTube. Let me see.